Arab Democratic Republic. Now the details. The Federal Ministry of Health has confirmed the first case of coronavirus COVID-19 in Nigeria. The victim is an Italian who works in Nigeria and returned from Milan, Italy to Lagos on Tuesday. Minister of Health Dr. Osage Haniri, who announced this at a news conference in Abuja, describes the condition of the patient, who is being managed at the Infectious Disease Hospital in Yaba, Lagos, as clinically stable with no serious symptoms. Health correspondent Rabi Abdullah completes the report.
Since the first outbreak of coronavirus, COVID-19, was reported in China and its subsequent spread to other countries, with its attendant effects, Nigeria has been on its toes to prevent the spread of the virus to its shores. That effort has now become a combination of prevention, response and containment, following the importation of the virus into the country.
The gentleman who came here apparently may have gotten infected at a point, but walked through the scene, the screening, with no symptoms. And by the time he got to his house, I think a day or two after, he started to feel unwell. And wisely enough, he went to a hospital, and there the doctors examined him, and I believe they found that malaria was negative, and they
Converged on Lagos to strategize on measures to contain and prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Joy Ken Agbapoya is on hand to give us a situation report.
I am at the facility, the Lagos Mainland Hospital, where the index case, an Italian male, is being held and managed. Dr. Bowale Abimbola is the medical director of that facility. He will give us an update.
Patient is doing very well. His spirit is high. He's not in any distress, and as of this morning, he's doing very well. Let me say he's doing very well. He's quite healthy. He's doing very, very well. He also has a very high spirit.
All right. Are we expecting to see what happened during the Ebola time, where we were able to curtail the virus before any damage was done?
Well, I think we learned a lot from the last Ebola case, and that is why this patient was identified early enough, because he went to a clinic, he gave his history, and the doctor immediately suspected that this could be coronavirus. I mean, if we are not expecting it, or if we are not well prepared, we wouldn't know, we will have missed it. So somebody identified this case and then brought the case to us, and then we also did what we were supposed to do. We sent samples to the lab, and then the result came back as positive.
And State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu assured citizens in a media briefing that everything that is required to contain the spread has been put in place.
We're up till early hours of this morning contacting both the federal authority, including Mr. President, and everybody that needs to be aware, including the facility that this patient had contact with, the chairman of the company and everybody in the company. They've been very supportive. They had proactively also curtailed their own staff, and we're ready. Our facility has been fortified to continue, if need be, of any form of tests and containment information. We'll continue to speak to each other on a case-by-case basis, and want to assure our citizens that for us here in Lagos, everything that needs to be done, we're doing, and we'll continue to have dialogue, and support.
Meanwhile, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has directed all information dissemination platforms under his ministry, as well as the National Orientation Agency, to embark on an intensive awareness and sensitization campaign in a bid to arm Nigerians with necessary information that will protect them to stay healthy. The minister stated this in Abuja. Anthony Forson has the details.
With coronavirus now in Nigeria,
FRCN, NAN, VON, and the National Orientation Agency have been directed to intensify their ongoing sensitization and enlightenment campaigns to arm Nigerians with the necessary information to stay well. And the National Orientation Agency, NOA, with its wide reach, office in all the 774 local governments, is pushing the various sensitization enlightenment programs to all the nooks and crannies of the country, translating the campaign to the major indigenous languages to expand their reach.
While calling on Nigerians not to panic, he assured that the federal government is well equipped to handle the situation, but was however quick to caution that mischief makers will take advantage of the situation.
We know that at times like this, purveyors of fake news and disinformation usually ramp up their acts. We are therefore urging Nigerians not to fall for the antics of purveyors of fake news and disinformation. Fortunately, Facebook is working with us in this regard.
And I think it is a responsibility of each and everyone, myself, yourself, and every one of us, to be able to work hard towards stopping this problem.
This case has been reported in Nigeria. What or where is WHO coming in to assist?
WHO has been and is still continuing working with Nigeria. Now, when the cases were increasing and the WHO declared the situation in the coronavirus in China as public health emergency of international concern, in African region, the countries were grouped into high priority countries, medium and low priority countries. And Nigeria falls among the high priority countries. This is because of the volume of engaging movement between Nigeria and China. So there are a lot of flights that go from Nigeria. People are traveling every day. And there are a lot of people also working in Nigeria, some of the Chinese. So Nigeria was considered a priority country. And one of the things is to have some minimum capacity to prepare. So I had a team of experts who are working with the government of Nigeria. So there was a team that WHO had in the country under my leadership here to support working with Nigeria Center for Disease Control. We put in place some mechanism. They did some preparedness plan. But now with this reported case, we are now in the process of the response.
We now move to Port Harcourt to join Osinachi Abraham for an update on the situation.
In a very proactive state in terms of containing issues like that. When Ebola happened, it was well managed. Lassa fever was also well managed, and now coronavirus, the director that just briefed us assured us that there will be no case of corona in Rivers State, and lots of measures have been put in place at the airports and other public places, and there is high level of sensitization to ensure that the public get the right information on what to do, and what not to do. And concerning the atmosphere, everywhere is cool. People are going about their normal business. There is no panic in Rivers State, as the state has assured us that that the state is collaborating with the Federal Ministry of Health, and everything is just fine.
You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from our studios in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. Time now for a break. We'll return in a short while.
Your information dey important, just like your identity. Now the only way we fit take hala you o. Make you go browse easy.gotvafrica.com. Sign in with your IUC number and mobile number and scroll down to personal details and address. Then check well to see say everything bam. You fit change the one wey not correct. To finish everything, just click the save button and it don't finish.
Thank you. I make sure say my phone number dey correct. That's now why GoTV fit call me make I come collect my own awoof.
Angel, time for my phone in that way because now my correct phone number dey for book.
GoTV, live it, love it.
Now look me again, no. Make you go do your own.
The federal government has embarked on impact assessments of the national border drill to generate inputs from stakeholders within the border communities to cushion the effects and further address the challenges of the closure. Shehu Adamu reports that a delegation from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation was at Jibia and Megatari border towns in Katsina and Jigawa states for an on-the-spot assessment.
7 months into the ongoing national border drill operations and the subsequent federal government directive on the ban of the sales of petroleum products within towns 20 kilometers to border posts, stakeholders acknowledge significant reduction in the proliferation of arms and smuggling of contraband into the country. Despite these achievements, residents of the towns appeal to the federal government to reconsider its policy on the ban of the sales of petroleum products in their domain, which affect commercial activities.
We would have a little peace, but we have to show we accept this law. We have to help all the customs, the border people, the immigrations, all those paramilitaries, the border security personnel.
In addition, the district head of Megatari town, Dengi Sangumel, Kabiru Al-Hassan, advised security operatives to address the problem of the influx of camel herders from the neighboring Niger Republic, whose activities cause road accidents in the area. Leader of the delegation and Deputy Director Economic Monitoring, Multilateral and Research in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Ajayi Shola Olubianga, said the visit is aimed at generating inputs that will guide the federal government border drill operations covering Northwest. Comptroller Aliyu Alhaji Muhammad, who commended the operation and support of the border communities, called for more understanding as the exercise intends to ensure security of lives and property, as well as repositioning the nation's economy.
Their complaint is that if they can designate at least one filling or two filling station that can be monitored by their security, by their district head or the secretary to the local government, that can serve their people because they are suffering.
At all the places visited, questionnaires on possible challenges were distributed and filled for onward submission to the higher authorities. In Katsina, Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has restated the commitments of the federal government towards deepening existing relations between Nigeria and Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. The president gave the assurance while exchanging views with the outgoing Sahrawi ambassador to Nigeria, Melanin Sadiq Bashir. State House correspondent Adam Sambu brings us the details.
Ambassador Sadiq Bashir of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic was in the State House on a farewell visit after completing his tour of duty in Nigeria spanning 3¼ years. President Buhari congratulated the outgoing envoy on his accomplishments in the country. He said the relationship between Nigeria and the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic was strengthened during his stay in Nigeria and promised to ensure that it remained so. He therefore wished the envoy well in his future endeavors. Ambassador Sadiq Bashir had told President Buhari that he had a very good experience serving in Nigeria, during which the relations between the two countries improved greatly. The The outgoing envoy expressed the belief that Nigeria and his country would continue to collaborate more effectively for enhanced mutual benefits. Ambassador Sadiq Bashir assumed duty in Nigeria on the 8th of November 2016. Records show that Nigeria recognized Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic on November 11, 1984, and formal diplomatic relations were established on the same day. The Sahrawi embassy was opened in Abuja in late 2000. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Nigerians have been challenged to always seek divine direction and guidance before embarking on any mission and allow the fear of God to reign supreme in their relationship with God and humankind. Primate Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, stated this as the dedication of St. Peter's Anglican Church, Ikere, Ekiti. Yemi Delamo reports that Vice President Jimmy Oshibajo, former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, and other eminent personalities attended the events.
Eminent personalities in Nigeria and beyond converge on Ikere Ekiti to dedicate the beautiful edifice donated by Chief Wole Olanipekun to the Church of Nigerian Anglican Communion. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, described the donation as a special seed to God that will earn the donor eternal blessings from God.
David only thought about building a house for God, and God established his generations forever and said that he was always going to, and that there will always be a man on the throne of David. You can imagine what God will do for a man who not only thought about it, but built a house of God. The dedication of this ultra-modern building is another landmark.
Primate Church of the Lord Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, quoting from 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16 and 17, urged Nigerians to always consult God before embarking on any mission. Ekiti State Governor Dr. Kayode Fayemi and the donor, Chief Wole Olanipekun SAN, said the occasion remains best gift to God and humanity.
Agree with me that he is the very epitome of all that Ekiti is known for. Of a testimony of that humility, because he could use this for other things.
God has done it. I said it is the sweetest ceremony. The Vice President was talking about David, ranking, singing, psalms. To me, this is the sweetest and chiefest ceremony.
He reveres God, and he has also given to God a little of what God has given to him.
Highlights of the occasion include the dedication of the ultra-modern edifice and special Thanksgiving service and the cutting of the cake. From Ikere Ekiti, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
The House of Representatives says those at the helm of affairs in ministries and other agencies of government must be pragmatic in their approach to execution of key projects and programs towards achieving effective service to the people. The ad hoc committee investigating alleged non-remittance of 1 trillion naira of unspent budgeted funds during the ongoing hearing noted that some government organizations wait for 100% budgetary release before they commence implementation of vital projects. Such attitude, it stressed, signals failure. It also frowned at infractions perpetrated by agencies in procurement procedure, pointing out that such practices adversely affects the federal government's anti-corruption fight.
Authorize payment for 100%. 100% payment of a particular job, process payment, 100% execution, done in 2 days. You award today, after tomorrow, the next day, there was authorization for payment.
The committee says the 9th National Assembly is committed to working with the executive as they both have unity of purpose of building a legacy of good governance and being accountable to the people. The National Blood Bank and Federal School of Survey were among agencies that appeared before the ad hoc committee Friday. Moving on, the renewed and intense offensive by the military on Boko Haram's enclaves has led to high casualties on the insurgents and serious dislocation to their command structures. According to the Buhari Media Organization, these assaults by the gallant troops, as well as infighting in their various factions, have left the insurgents' camps in disarray, with many laying down their arms. In a statement signed by its chairman, Niya Kinsuju, and Secretary Cassidy Madweke, the group said that the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Adoli, under the auspices of Operation Rattlesnake Tree, has recorded tremendous successes through its airstrikes, which has effectively degraded the operation capacity of the insurgents. BMO noted that Nigerian military, in collaboration with neighboring countries, under the auspices of the Multinational Joint Task Force, has enabled the Air Force to take increased firepower to the enemy's camp by carrying out cross-border strikes, which has left a huge amount of destruction on the terrorists. A few days ago, 25 repentant Boko Haram members who had surrendered to troops in Niger Republic were brought back to Nigeria and handed over to the Borno State government for onward rehabilitation and de-radicalization. President Muhammadu Buhari has felicitated with Muhammadu Sambo Aliyu on his conferment as Magajin Rafin Gwandu by the Gwandu Emirate